I know I've been gone for a while. If you haven't seen my little update video, just know life has been lifing, but I am getting back on track to making videos regularly again, like this one right now. But, what I have to speak on today is quite serious, and yes, it kind of does concern how I do my LPS content in the future, but I will be discussing that later in the video. Why are we here? Well, honestly, LPS G7 is extremely disappointing. Like, I can't remember exactly. I would like to say it was like 2022, around 2023, around that time. That's when we got the announcements for G7. I remember just being in the car one day. I'm like, whoa, wait, LPS is coming back? I was like so ecstatic. I was like, oh my goodness, yes, the toys I grew up on, the show I grew up on, literally all of it is coming back. And surprise, surprise, it was a complete shock to me at first. It was going pretty well. Honestly, if you're in my inner circle, you know how obsessed I am, especially of G7, because, like, in a way I was reliving my childhood, but, like, that nostalgia has burst and I've finally seen it for as it truly is. Now, I'll get to everything later, but just know that. So yeah, in this video, I will be discussing reasons I will no longer be supporting nor buying a G7 LPS. And in no particular order, I'm reading off to my notes here. Anyway, starting it off, it's because they're just ugly. The packaging's ugly, it's lazy, and there's a ton of misprints. A ton of misprints. Oh my goodness, I could not get over the amount of misprints all my LPS G7 had. At least I would like to assume like over half or literally my entire collection has some sort of misprint. And that is disturbing because like none of the LPS I had that were like older, even like G3 or G4 LPS had the amount of misprints as they have. Like it's honestly ridiculous. If you can see it with this girl right here, her eyes are a little bit off center, and I know that could be like, oh, that could just be like a little thing. That's not too big of a deal. But tell me why on her snout area, right here, there, you see the two tan lines in between her nose, and I did not cause that. You know how right now my nose is kind of like exposing like the skin under or the fur under the nose? That's because I've been playing with it for a while, but I have barely played with this one and it already has scuffs. Like, why does something brand new have scuffs? Like how they're made to, like the nibs. Like this Great Dane is not supposed to have its head down. It's not supposed to do that. Compared to my other Great Dane, it's supposed to be looking more straightforward. But no, this guy's looking more down. And it's just like really weird. Also, yeah, all the scuffs on, well, some of the scuffs were inflicted by me, but I can guarantee this weird thing right here, I did not cause that. And now, like, I honestly don't know what this is. I don't know if it's like some sort of paint error, but it's like I don't know how you could do such a thing, like with every single LPS. Even looking at me a little bit. Honestly, this LPS is kind of okay, but there is a little bit of white that does bleed off the eye socket. So it's like, yeah. Like, this ferret, I'm, like, extremely disappointed by her because I love LPS ferrets. But, she looks kind of, like, scary. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, like, doesn't look right for her. And not to mention this weird, like, what is this? A gold bracelet? I just wonder why we couldn't have this in the physical form. Because, like, they know we would have been able to mix and match that way. They could do so much better with the colorings. But, yeah, like, I just feel like it's so uncreative, a lot of them. And it's just kind of, like, making me a little sad. Because LPS are supposed to be creative little creatures. Like, this guy, I kind of thought he was creative. But, honestly, his colors are very zombie-like. And like paint splatter like, but none of his accessories like emulate that he's supposed to be like paint splotches or anything about that. Like I feel like they should have a little more thought put into the designs instead of just like, oh yeah, just getting some random colors and see if it looks good. Like the colors on this dog right here just don't feel too right. They just feel too dark and too midnight. I feel like they could just make simple changes like this. But I feel like knowing them, they would not do that. Also, for the packaging, I don't know how well it will show out. I'll just zoom out a bit. But this is the LPS boutique. And like I just feel like it's kind of uncanny in a way because I feel like they could have done some art of the LPS instead of like showing the LPS themselves, because like there's no point because you can already see them through the packaging here, right? Of course this one's filled with all other sorts of LPS, but you get it though, because like I feel like it's a little bland. It's a little too generic even for a toy company such as big as this. Like I feel like they could do a lot better. And like I don't know, like I would want to say this is giving like Littlest Pet Shop the show, but it honestly isn't. Like I don't know. I have like so many gripes with it, and not to mention the rooms that are inside of it. They're just like basic rooms, and honestly none of them have a cohesive like thing. This is supposed to be a boutique, and like hardly any of these like scream boutique. Like there's just a random toy store in there or like a school supply store. Like what? I thought this was a boutique. Okay, so on to the next point. Most of the sets and like the toys now, like the LPS, have no real use anymore. And that might sound strange. Like, what do you mean? So let me take a Pet Nook from behind me. But Pet Nook, these actually, you can use them as a standalone thing like I do. Because I didn't know this until like I was scrolling through Instagram, as I always do when I look for like LPS stuff. I have like a whole LPS folder. But anyways, I was scrolling through and I stumbled upon a commercial of an old playset I had. And I was like, oh my gosh, I remember having that playset. And then I realized the pet nooks were also implemented in that ad. And you know what? They were something to incorporate with the playset. And I'm so confused because I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know if the new LPS playset, which mind you, there's only one real like LPS house, G7 house, that's like a little but you know, it's the only house they have, and they also like never released it again, and they're just doing these random pet hotels and pet boutiques, just literally plain old boxes. But yeah, these actually can like build off of the playset, which is so fun, but now they're just like here just to be here, honestly. And also like LPS plushies. Apparently if you had an LPS plushie a long time ago, you could like redeem it for your LPS online. And I'm sure some of you haven't heard of LPS online. I just implore you to like watch those deep dive videos of like the iceberg of LPS. But yeah, there used to be an LPS online, and you could have toys or plushies and you could redeem them. And now you can just have the plushies and you don't really need to redeem them. Not like you just use your plushie just to like use it, but wouldn't it be nice to also have more uses for them? You know, with the old LPS toys, or like at least for the LPS World of Your Own mobile game, if you ever played that one. I know I did. If you had any LPS, they would have a paw print on like their back or their paw, and then you would have to scan it through the game and you could get that LPS in game. And that just sounds so fun, right? Like you don't have to pay to win. Well, you technically do have to pay to win, but still at least you're getting like a physical version of it too. Like it feels more worth it in that way. Like LPS Online, the LPS Game Loft version, and LPS World of Your Own. And like I guess you could kind of make an argument for the Roblox game that I played, which was so boring, an absolute snooze fest. But they used to have tokens with the LPS G7. Now they just got rid of it because they understood that it was lame and no one really cared about it, because you didn't really redeem the LPS for most of them. You just got like some coins in game that were like barely nothing. So it's like, bro, that doesn't do anything. Another thing they do is build hype and exclusivity and nostalgia. And I can speak for myself that this has hit me really, really hard. Like, I remember always like getting my first LPS, which was bruh, by the way. This was my first G7 LPS. And I just remember like, oh my goodness, there's so many to collect. More, 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 more. I don't know if you can see the pattern of here of just blindly consuming LPS and not really like paying attention to them. Cause I realized after a while, I was like, wait a minute, bruh has a ton of misprints on him too that I did not do, and a weird amount of splotches on him that I did not inflict. So it's like very weird. And it's like, I remember last year for Christmas, there was these LPS pet pairs for the Christmas line. It was the capybara and a short hair cat, and the one I really, 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 and I cannot emphasize how much I said really just then, wanted the Great Dane and the Dachshund LPS. And like, I really wanted it because like it looked literally just like the Valentine's LPS, which first of all, they're supposed to be Christmas LPS. They're not supposed to look like Valentine. And that's another thing, like I'll get into that later, but they don't even look like what their season is. They just have a scarf on them, which a whole lot of people in the community has complained about how generic the scarf is, because I did not get it. As you can see, I would have shown you, but this hit me so badly. Like, I genuinely got so sad when I didn't get my hands on it. I was checking it every day to see if there was any chance, but no. Either I was too late to it, because I remember I was on my travels then, so like even then I was still checking in my area where to buy it, and even then still like nothing. Like and I was just so depressed. Like, I was genuinely depressed over these things. Like, these things are ruling my mind, and it's honestly kind of sad to admit, but like, yeah, they genuinely made me think I missed out on like the lifetime, like the literal lottery ticket, because of this exclusivity thing, even though they could easily make this, and they just been cramming LPS. Like, don't even get me started on how they're cramming LPS. Like how you can buy them now. Like, I feel like they're gonna start releasing waves every month at this point, but still like marketing exclusivity and like playing on nostalgia. And of course, like, why I wanted that one was because of affordability. At the end of the day, it wasn't the original Valentine's LPS, which is extremely expensive compared to the Christmas one, but even then still, it's not the same. And again, it's ugly. Like, it's not even cute. Like, and that's not just me saying this to be a hater, but like, no, it's genuinely like not the same. Another thing is that the accessories are just plain not worth it. And what I mean by this is that the accessories are really bland, just like how I mentioned with the scarf. Now, mind you, this scarf I'm wearing is from the pet hotel. It comes with the little crocodile, and this is part of the reason why I wanted it, because it was like actual physical stuff. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I know they did like hats for the I believe one of the advent calendars, but and like sleepover bags, but as far as I'm concerned, there hasn't been too much physical accessories. So I was like really excited, and it's pink. It's really cute. But I feel like you could just get some fabric and like cut through the middle and do this same effect. So it's like not as worth it as I was probably framing it to be. But here again is just a bow sticker I got from Hobby Lobby, because all their bows are like genuinely not cute. I should give them a little grace. They're not that bad, but the problem is that most of the bows do not fit a majority of the LPS. Heck, it doesn't even fit the original LPS. This bow does not belong to her. It belongs to her, and it does not fit her ear. And you could say, oh, it's because you stretched out to both of this cat's ears. It's like, no, it was really, really big in the packaging. I was like, oh, well, that's something. Yeah. Now I will get more into the nitty gritty of it. And now this does rive on like what's happening in our world right now. So I guess I could do a little bit of a disclaimer here if you're like not ready for like that sort of conversation or something like that. I don't really know, but yeah, I just know it's gonna not be at surface level and like kind of haha as I did before. But yeah, another really major issue I have is that depending on your socioeconomic like placement, like your background and everything like that, like you get different LPS. And what do I mean by this? Well, I'm sure most of you are aware of the KX versus ES factories. And basically, they're two factories because LPS were booming and they're like, oh my goodness, we can't sustain this. We need to open another factory, which sounds good in hindsight. The only problem is this factory's way different from the other factory. Now, my perfect example of a KX pet is this owl right here. I'm trying to remember which ones are my ES. I believe this one's an ES. But off the bat, so I want you to know that ES are considered the better of the LPS. And why that is because they are less likely to have the misprints that I were mentioning earlier. But also, like, the paint is better, and, like, the molds are better, like, and how the nibs are placed, it's all, like, way better. Like, the eyes are better. Like, there's hardly, well, there is kind of some, like, a graininess, but I feel like it's way better with ES. Like, and overall, they're just really pretty LPS. Now, the KX pets, however, are, like, littered with misprints. And also, like, have like this weird texture to them. They don't feel as smooth. They feel kind of like rock hard. And like normally that wouldn't be the problem because like squishy head LPS syndrome is real. But well, they have gotten a little bit better at making them less squishy. But what I mean is that they don't feel really pleasant to touch, honestly, compared to my ES pets. Like I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I'm going crazy and just thinking too deep about it. But like honestly, I feel it. And like the paint is vastly different. It just feels like more put on instead of like the ES pets, which feel like they're getting a little more love and detail. And like the eyes is a little weird too. And like her eyelashes are like saying hi in different directions, like almost how I put on my eyeliner. So it's like and not to mention whatever the heck that is, that little random eyelash that she doesn't have on this side. But yeah, I really do not like KX pets and I always try to avoid them. But the thing is, some people may not have the choice and may not notice that. Because the KX pets, since they're like considered the bottom of the barrel of LPS, I've noticed are in certain neighborhoods that are also considered bottom of the barrel by society, which is just so wrong in so many ways. Because LPS is literally for everyone. Like where you come from and where you live should not dictate if your LPS is good or your LPS is bad. Like they're unconsciously doing that. Like they're getting. I don't even know if KX pets are not rejects, but I feel like if they were in the ES factories, they would be considered rejects. And that's the thing. That's just so wrong. And that should not be like something they practice a lot, but it is. And like, yeah, I just feel like really sad for that because it's like a lot of people don't even know that they're getting scammed by the worser LPS just because they live in a certain neighborhood. I'm gonna try to find the infographic because I'm not gonna get like too deep into it, but the Basic Fun Company and like its CEO or whatever her name is supports or like LPS in general supports a country that I am not aligned with values wise. And if I can find the infographic, I will definitely put it up. But yeah, I'll probably just zoom on it so you'll know what I mean. But yeah, they just and like that means they distribute LPS to that country and actively support what that country is doing basically. And not saying that country is not allowed to have LPS because again, LPS should not be exclusive. Like at the end of the day, they're just toys. But I feel like in this circumstance and how the world is right now, this is completely bigger than LPS. So like that's another thing is like I don't know, that's very weird. Why are you doing that? Biggest turnoffs for me is because they support AI. Now, if you know anything about me, you know I hate AI to its core. I'll never use it like as a active thing or just to be funny or just to test it out. Like no. I'm not giving AI the light of day. And I know that AI is not really about AI itself. It's more about like the top 1% who controls AI and like builds those data centers. But otherwise, I still just don't like AI. I don't like how it looks. I don't like how it's already damaging our society when it's already damaged enough and is kind of teetering off the edge to being unfixable just because people don't want to put in effort. Another turnoff is that they steal concepts from artists for like no reason, honestly. So like a while ago, for like the pet relationships, like this is where that ferret comes from, that like opposites attract set, which I also got and hated. Obviously I got like 2 of them, but yeah, I hate those ones. But anyways, yeah, for one of the sets, I think it was like a punk set, and with some other thing, it was like a sugar glider LPS, which was like, okay, we've seen that sugar glider LPS before, but we noticed there was a bearded dragon LPS, which there has never ever been. Like there's like a lizard LPS, but it looks nothing like a bearded dragon. This lizard LPS, it looks nothing like a bearded dragon. It looks really alien-like and goofy. I don't really like it, but yeah. Yeah, there's really no bearded dragon LPS, but people noticed that this specific bearded dragon mold and color belonged to a certain artist on Instagram who makes her own customs and 3D prints her own molds by herself. And of course, when they got called out for this, they're like, "Oh, no, it's just a concept. We weren't gonna actually like distribute it." Okay, even if it was just a concept, you still don't steal from artists, especially since you didn't credit them. Like, I'm pretty sure they would have been fine as long as you credited them or gave them some like sort of ownership or role in the company and its creative process. But nope, you just didn't. And I kind of have a feeling, and they also did this, if I remember, with the Axolotl LPS when it first came out, because like for its concept, of course, it looked way cooler. Because just wanted to quickly say that I watched another creator speak on about this and how leaks and whatnot, like NDAs are being broken all the time, which I do see a lot in the community. But if they weren't actually going to use the axolotl design, why did they use other existing products like the accessories and literally put it in? That means they were planning to also use the axolotl as an actual product too. I don't know, I just think that's really weird. And branching off from that point, they also block artists and put down their creative endeavors. One of the biggest ones is his name is Prescott Hill. I'll put up any images just as a reference anyways, but still, I believe his name is Prescott Hill, and he used to work for like the old LPS, so making a book, and they were like, no, you cannot do that book. You're not licensed to do that book. You're like, bro, why are you doing this? They're like, no, basically saying they hate him. So he really kind of started the boycott, if I'm being honest, or like kind of like made others like more aware of what was happening in the Basic Fun. At the end of the day, I understand Basic Fun and Hasbro is a business, but at the same time, we can push for more ethical practices. It's ridiculous. Branching off to that point, like I think the CEO or one of the head of like art and creative, I don't even know her name, I'll also try to put her up here. She also could like care less about what the community wants because she actively supports AI and thinks it's like a good tool and all that yada yada tech stuff. And it's like, bro, I don't know if you know this, but the LPS community is like the most creative community I have ever seen. Like, for the AI lion that got sold in Five Below with that springtime whatever, I don't even know what it is. But for that AI lion and AI fox, the whole community came together to like boycott in their own way by making the LPS fox and lion, like they colored it themselves, and they also did a whole lot of anti-AI imagery, which I thought was really fun. But of course they wouldn't care any less about that, and they still distribute that packaging, and they probably don't think nobody will notice. Like they probably thought they were so slick, probably kicking back in their chairs, giggling, like thinking they fooled everybody. But like, I gotta say, this is just extremely disappointing for me. This video is pretty long, longer than I want it to be. But yeah, what does this mean moving forward? Well, I have decided to no longer support G7, and that means no more G7 unboxings, and also no more going to Target, especially not Target, for my LPS. And what I've decided to do instead is to go to thrift stores, because thrift stores actually have a lot of cute LPS. The I'm obviously not gonna throw away my G7 LPS, just to be clear, or nothing like that, because they make up a majority of my collection, unfortunately. And I've already spent so much time and money in them. But this just means I'm not gonna buy anymore. But anyways, yeah. The accessory comes from this little guy here. Oop. And I forget which necklace this belongs to, but I know that's from one of those Wave 5 singles, like that, like this dachshund right here. But yeah, this bear I believe comes from like a Blythe style set where she was like in a moped and it came with the Blythe doll, and it looks so cute. I genuinely like it. I got this when I was on my travels, and I went to a like an infamous thrift store that is known to sell good LPS, and I was like, ooh yeah. Unfortunately, I kind of missed like the whole LPS event there, because like genuinely the day I arrived, it ended like a yesterday, like the day after. Like bro, I was so heartbroken, and it was like but yeah. And my mom also went to like, I believe it was a swap meet, and found this guy. And I know not too many people like this collie because he has this uncanny like mouth open, but I honestly like him, and his paint is holding up pretty well. He's a little dusty, but I don't really care too much for that, and his paint is honestly pretty okay with me. Of course, he has some scuffs on him, but honestly it's not that bad, and he looks pretty much in mint condition. Unlike, for some reason, the G7 LPS, which mind you just got out of the factory, are for some reason dirty and have misprints. Like, I honestly can't even begin to deal with it. But yeah, so I will just start buying like secondhand, or also like on eBay or Mercari. I've gotten some of my other LPS on Mercari, like Trincicity. Oh yeah, that she was in. I know Trincicity was a part of like that LPS Monopoly game, or like one of those games. But yeah, I really like LPS ferrets. I want, you know what? Just like, without my opinion, I'll just have these two side by side, and you just make your opinion on what you think of them. I probably also shouldn't put like a high praise on the old LPS, but there was a lot of things that the old LPS is doing extremely right that the new LPS is doing extremely wrong. And I think that it should be like should be noticed and whatnot, and also should be called out. But LPS in my own way, just not supporting them. I'm no longer gonna watch those little shorts, because like I used to really like watching their like silly shorts. They're honestly kind of like trying to be something that they're not. Like they're trying too hard to be something instead of just being their own thing, if you know what I mean. But like, yeah. I also unfollowed them on Instagram, I believe. So now I just follow the like LPS creators, like people who do customs and art and whatnot. And that's just about it. So yeah, hopefully I'll actually get back to a regular recording schedule. But yeah, this took longer than I thought it would. But yeah, I just realized I had a lot to say, and I hope I'm not necessarily trying to persuade your opinion on G7 LPS. I'm just merely making light of the situation, because I know it can be hard, or it could be easy to ignore these things, or even easy to not know these things. So I just thought I'd bring it to light. But anyways, see you guys later. Bye bye.